Hi guys, Nesty here. Today I want to show you the different elements of the Thors. Let's put them out here first. Let's say water, fire, light, wood and dark. Okay, let's start with the fire one. In general, he's not bad. Important are his book upgrades. Obviously, it will be really hard to get the book upgrades for the fire one, but he's really good. He has a 10% passive skill activation rate and on the active 20%. That means he has an 80% chance to defense down for 2 turns on the passive and a 70% chance to debuff on the active, plus decent leader skill, and he's a defender, which is really good. That makes him the best defense downer for the fire element. So yeah, let's say the Wood Titan. Obviously, we are using debuffs like defense down mostly on Titans, and yeah, he will be the best debuffer you can get there with the book upgrades, but obviously it's really hard to get these book upgrades. But if you have them, he's really good. For example, Yuki has 70%, 70% I think. Wait, we can take a look. There's Yuki. As you see, nothing and 20%, so 60 and 80, while Thor has 80 and 70, and it's better to have the def down on the passive with a higher percent, because you will use the passive more than the active, even it's a small difference. I think 3, 4, 5%. But obviously it's an advantage, and another big advantage is that the Fire Thor has a much faster attack animation than the Fire Yuki and Fire Candling, which are both double defense downers. So yeah, that's another advantage as well. Let's say without the books he's okay. I think he's not worth it without the books, because like I said, you have net 4s like Yuki, you even have net 3s like Candling that has a much higher chance. So without the books he's good, but not the best, because it's way easier to book upgrade the Candling, which has 70%, 70%. But if you have the books, he's the best debuffer you can get for the fire element. Let's go to water. As you see, nothing special. A 20% chance to get a 100% chance to get 20% of SP, which is not bad but not good as well. There are monsters that have 50% while having a really good active skill, so that's not really good. His book upgrades are bad as well. So water is for me the worst element you can get there. Then we have the wood one. Obviously the wood one is really good, because he has the Corrosive Strike on the passive, so you will deal instant Corrosive Strike damage, and 100% chance to blind if he crits. Both skills are on crit, which is not that good, but it's fine. You will have to go for the crit rate in most cases anyway, so it's okay. Obviously, without the crit rate condition, it would be better, but it's okay. The skill upgrades looking bad, but they are not that bad, because all he wants is damage. On the passive he has 20% increased damage dealt. It's not that high, but yeah, we have to consider this is a Courageous Strike attack, and 20% is a lot. Let's say sitting for 300,000, then you are dealing 360,000. So it's a good book upgrade in my opinion. Obviously, this is nothing you want. If you're really lucky, you get 4 rolls into the passive and then you are done with the Wood Thor. But yeah, I personally think 2 Wood Thors are totally enough because in general he's a good blinder. The Wood Elemental is lacking a bit of blind, and the Thor fits there perfect because of his 100% blind. He has the small disadvantage that he's really hard to jam on the front lane if you want to deal damage, because the Water Titan has the 2-turn attack down. So yeah, you want to avoid the attack down to deal any kind of damage. So yeah, obviously he needs crit rate and he needs resistance. So I wouldn't go for a Wood Thor that has no square because you need the crit rate gem. Perfectly with like 20 to 30% crit rate. If it's higher, it's even better. But at least that amount is needed. Otherwise, you will lack one of the stats. For example, I was using my Wood Thor on the front for a long time with these gems, 99% crit rate and 77% resistance. Obviously that's really good, not perfect, but close to it. And even the 77% resistance got attack down a lot. In my opinion, a lot more than 85%. So it's really important to give the Wood Thor, if you put him in the front, really good gems. But obviously on the back lane, all you have to do is give him crit rate. If he's lacking a bit of resistance, it's not that bad. You will lose 2 turns. Yeah, 2 turns. Because he has the 2-turn seal, the Water Titan on the passive skill. But that's not the end of the world. As you see, mine has no resistance as well. And yeah. Then we have the Light Thor. Light Thor has one use in my opinion, and that's putting him in the defense for Arena or CVC. His raids are not that good, 60% chance to shock and 60% chance to death down, but for some reason he's like Pebble or Wood Leo, he's landing his shocks a lot more than 60%, at least in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people. So for a defense monster, he's really strong. He has 10% activation rate on both skills, so if you have the books, you will end up at 70% and 70%. If I would have done the review some weeks ago, or let's say 2 to 3 months ago, I would say he's not worth to go for, because he's not strong anymore. But as we are seeing a lot of dark aggression monsters in the arena lately because of the addition of Super Miho, then we have Dark Birdie. What else? Sometimes you'll face a Dark Arthur. Then we have Dark Sea Star as defense aggression monster. All these monsters are often going for crit rate. Like, as an example, Dark Miho In a lot of cases, the offensive Mihos are jammed 3 times HP with as much crit rate as they can get from their jams, so they will have a really low resistance, and obviously the Light Thor is perfectly for this. A 2-turn shock will put a monster out of the game for 2 turns, and your team will start to focus the opponent, in this case the Dark Miho. Dark Miho obviously has a lot of defense for a monster that has that much HP. Not as much as monsters like Light Odin or something, but 2.5k defense for such a high HP is good. So you'll even lower that and your team will start to focus the attacker. So I think Light Thor is really good. And then we have the Dark Thor. Dark Thor has a crit dependent defense down and a crit dependent Courageous Strike. Obviously this can end like 100% chance to defense down. Obviously this is really good. His skill upgrades are the same as the wood one. The skill that is not that important gets 25% and the Courageous Strike gets 20%. I'm not too sure if I would prefer the Courageous Strike on the passive, like it's for the Wood Thor, because we need the defense down for the Light or Dark Titan as well. And like that, you can put out monsters like, I don't know if you have a Dark Coulter. Where do we have that horse? There. You can just switch it. You can put out the Light Coulter for the Light, the Dark. For the Dark Thor, if you want to make sure that you are hitting the defense down, you even use 2 Dark Thors, if you can build them. And yeah, it will raise your damage as well, because it's a Courageous Strike active, and in general the Light and Dark Titans take a lot of damage. So yeah, this will increase your damage a lot. If I have to put them in a ranking, I would put Wood and Dark Thor on top. It depends what Titan you are attacking more. If you are attacking the Wood Titan a lot because the water, if you are attacking the Water Titan a lot and you are lacking some more Courageous Strike monsters because for whatever reason you have no Pinolos or you couldn't get enough Kanas, then I would go for the Wood one. And if you are not attacking the Water Titan because you say, yeah, I have no Pinolos and without the Pinolos it's not worth to attacking the Water Titan, for example. Or if your Water Titan team is nearly finished and you have enough Courageous Strike attackers, then I would go for the Dark one, because the Dark one is a lot more versatile. He has a 100% chance to defense down, so you can use him in different content as well. And obviously on the Light and Dark Titan you'll hit really hard. So yeah, if you are not attacking the Water Titan, I would go for the Dark one. If you are attacking the Water Titan, it's between them, because yeah, both of them are really strong. A bit below them, I would put Light and Fire. Light obviously is a really good arena and CVC monster. Fire only if you are thinking about going for the maximum that you can get from your team. Because yeah, like I said, the Fire Thor is the strongest double defense downer that we have at the moment for the fire element. And yeah, even the 10% can make a difference here and there, so he's really good as well. But if you're not booking him, I would put him in a rank with the water one, and that's the useless tier. So in my opinion, it depends between these two, depending on what Titan you're attacking. After that, the light one comes, and after that, these two are coming. If for whatever reason you already have a stable light and dark team, a stable water team, and if you have those teams, you most likely don't need the light one as well because you are playing for a very long time. Then I would go for the fire one just to squeeze out a little bit more damage because he has a higher percentage than monsters like Yuki and Candling. And yeah, water is the one that you should always avoid because he's far too weak. There are a lot of better monsters like the water one, so yeah, I repeat, I would say dark and wood tier 1, a bit below the light one, and in the trash tier these two, and fire is an exception a bit, like I said. I hope you liked that small review, and yeah, see you soon guys, ciao.